I never imagined a simple request for help with my sore back would unravel my entire world. As Jordan's warm hands pressed firmly against my skin, his voice cracked with emotion as he admitted he was in love with me, and had been for years. The words hung in the air of our cramped Chicago apartment, like smoke from a fire we couldn't put out. I was lying face down on my bed after a brutal day at the graphic design firm downtown, my shoulders knotted from hours hunched over a monitor. Jordan had just gotten back from the gym, still in his tank top and shorts, sweat glistening on his arms. We'd been roommates for 2 years, ever since we met through a mutual friend at a Cubs game. He was the easygoing one, athletic, always cracking jokes, the guy who fixed the leaky faucet without being asked and remembered to buy my favorite coffee on grocery runs. I'd always thought of him as straight, the kind of guy who dated girls casually and never mentioned anything deeper. But now his fingers paused right between my shoulder blades, and I felt the tremor in them. "Ethan, I can't keep pretending," he said softly, his breath warm against the back of my neck. "Every time I see you like this, tired and trusting me enough to let me help, it kills me. I've been in love with you since the day you moved in." I tried to ignore it. God, I tried, but I can't anymore. My heart slammed against my ribs so hard I thought it might crack them. I pushed up on my elbows, twisting to look at him. Jordan's face was flushed, not from the gym, but from something raw and terrified. His hazel eyes locked on mine, and in that moment, the roommate I thought I knew vanished. This was a man laying his soul bare, risking everything. Our lease, our friendship, the easy rhythm of our shared life in this third-floor walk-up with its creaky floors and skyline view of the Loop. "What?" I managed, my voice barely above a whisper. The room felt smaller, the hum of the city traffic outside fading into nothing. I sat up fully, pulling my shirt back down over my head, suddenly aware of how exposed I felt. Not just physically. Jordan stepped back, rubbing his hands together as if they burned. "I know this is insane. You're probably freaking out right now. I get it, but I had to say it. Watching you date those girls who never stuck around, hearing you talk about wanting something real. It tore me up because I knew I could be that for you, if you'd let me." I stared at him, my mind racing through every shared moment. The late-night talks about work stress, the weekends binge-watching old sci-fi shows on the couch, the way he'd laugh at my terrible cooking attempts. Had there been signs? The extra-long hugs after bad days, the way his eyes lingered sometimes when he thought I wasn't looking? Or was I just rewriting history now that the words were out? My chest tightened with a mix of panic and something warmer, something I shoved down hard. "Jordan, I don't know what to say. This changes everything." He nodded, sinking onto the edge of the bed, keeping a careful distance. "It doesn't have to. Not if you don't want it to. We can pretend I never said anything. But Ethan, I'm tired of hiding. My family's back in Peoria, conservative as hell, church every Sunday. They've been asking when I'm bringing home a nice girl. I can't keep lying to them or myself." His voice broke again, and I saw the vulnerability there, the same guy who'd helped me through my dad's heart scare last year, staying up all night with me at the hospital. We talked for hours that night, the city lights flickering on through the window as darkness fell. I admitted the confusion swirling inside me, how I'd never really felt that spark with any of the women I dated, how I'd chalked it up to being picky or busy with deadlines. Jordan listened without pushing, his presence steady even as my world tilted. By the time we finally crashed, him on the couch and me in my room, sleep wouldn't come. I lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying his touch, the confession, the way it made my pulse race in a way no back rub ever should. What if this was the start of something I wasn't ready to name? By morning, the air between us felt charged, fragile, like one wrong word could shatter the life we'd built together. The next morning, the apartment smelled like fresh coffee and the usual chaos of our shared space. Jordan's protein shaker on the counter, my sketch pad scattered on the table. I avoided his eyes at first, pouring myself a mug while he scrambled eggs at the stove. "Morning," he said quietly, his tone careful, like he was handling fragile glass. I nodded, sliding into my usual chair. The silence stretched until I couldn't take it. "Last night, I didn't sleep much. Jordan turned, spatula in hand, his expression open but guarded. Me neither. Look, Ethan, I meant every word. But I don't expect you to flip a switch. You've got your own stuff going on, your family in Indiana, the promotion you're chasing at work. If this freaks you out too much, we can find you another place. No hard feelings. His offer hit me like a punch, because the thought of him not being here, not sharing these mornings, felt worse than the shock itself. I set my mug down hard. No, I'm not running. I just need time to process. You've been my best friend, Jordan. The one constant in this crazy city. What if we mess that up? He sat across from me, pushing a plate my way. Over breakfast, he opened up more. How he'd realized his feelings in college, but buried them deep after a bad experience with a teammate back in Peoria. I dated girls to fit in, to make my folks proud. But it never felt right. Then you walked in with your boxes and that goofy grin, complaining about the L train delays, and everything clicked. I fought it for 2 years, Ethan. 2 years of watching you, and wishing I could be the one making you laugh like that. His honesty cracked something in me. I thought about my own quiet doubts, the way I'd always felt more alive around certain guys in art school, the relief when relationships with women fizzled without drama. I don't know if I'm like you. I admitted the words tasting foreign. But last night, when you said it, it didn't feel wrong. Scary as hell, yeah, but not wrong. We agreed to take it slow, no labels, just exploring what this pull between us meant. That afternoon, we walked along the lakefront path, the wind off Michigan whipping our jackets. Jordan didn't reach for my hand, but our shoulders brushed, and it sent a spark through me I couldn't ignore. Days blurred into a careful dance. We'd cooked dinner together, lingering over wine, talking about dreams. His to start his own freelance studio, mine to illustrate a graphic novel someday. The tension simmered, but so did the comfort. One evening, after a long client meeting, I came home exhausted, and Jordan offered another back rub, this time with the lights low and soft music playing. His hands were gentler now, knowing. Tell me if it's too much, he murmured. It wasn't. It felt like coming home. Yet doubt gnawed at me. My parents called that night, Mom asking if I was seeing anyone special. I lied, saying no, and hung up feeling the weight of secrets pressing down. Jordan saw it in my face. We'll figure it out, he promised, pulling me into a hug that lasted longer than any before. For the first time, I hugged back without overthinking, my heart skipping in a rhythm that scared and thrilled me all at once. Weeks turned into a fragile new normal. Our secret dates hidden in the pulse of Chicago's neighborhoods. We'd grab coffee in Wicker Park, wandering through bookstores where Jordan's hand would brush mine under the table, or catch a quiet movie in Lincoln Park, the darkness giving us cover to lean closer. Each moment built something electric between us. Stolen glances at the office when he visited for lunch, late-night texts that made work deadlines bearable. You're making me smile like an idiot at my desk. I'd type back, and his reply would come with a heart emoji that felt bolder every time. The joy was real, but so was the fear creeping in. My best friend from college, Sarah, started noticing changes during our weekly brunch at a cafe near Millennium Park. You seem different, Ethan, lighter but distracted. New girl? She teased, sipping her latte. I froze, forcing a laugh. Nah, just work stress. Jordan and I had sworn to keep it quiet, especially with his family pushing for him to settle down back home. But the secrecy chipped away at me. One Saturday, we drove out to the Indiana dunes for a hike, the fresh air and waves giving us space to talk freely. Jordan opened up about the guilt eating at him. My dad called yesterday, talking about grandkids and how proud he'd be if I found a good woman. I almost told him the truth, right there. But I pictured his face, and couldn't. I squeezed his shoulder, the wind tugging at our hair. I get it. My folks are the same. Church picnics, family reunions where they ask about my love life like it's a checklist. Coming out would blow that up. Yet being with him felt more authentic than anything before. That night back in the apartment, we shared our first real kiss. Tentative, then deeper, his hands framing my face like I was something precious. It wasn't fireworks. It was a quiet earthquake, shifting everything inside me. I pulled back, breathless. This is real, isn't it? Jordan nodded, eyes shining. Scariest and best thing I've ever felt. But cracks appeared when Sarah dropped by unannounced one evening, catching us a little too close on the couch. She raised an eyebrow, but said nothing then. Later, her texts grew probing. You and Jordan seem awfully tight lately. Everything okay? The paranoia set in. What if word got back to work or family? Jordan sensed my withdrawal and pulled me aside after dinner. We don't have to rush telling anyone. But don't pull away from me because of what-ifs. We've got this. His words steadied me, and we spent the evening planning a low-key weekend trip up north, dreaming of a future where secrets weren't necessary. Still, the weight of hidden truths lingered, a shadow over our growing bond. The illusion shattered when my parents announced a surprise visit from Indianapolis. They pulled up in their old SUV on a crisp fall Friday, Mom hugging me tight while Dad clapped Jordan on the back like he was family. Good to see you boys keeping each other out of trouble, Dad boomed, settling into our living room with takeout pizza. The weekend started fine. Tours of the city, laughs over old stories, but tension built like storm clouds. Mom cornered me in the kitchen Saturday morning. Ethan, honey, you're 26. Were you going to bring home a nice girl? Your cousin just got engaged. We worry about you up here alone. I mumbled something about being busy, but her words stung, especially with Jordan in the next room. That evening, after they turned in, Jordan and I argued in hushed tones on the fire escape. I hate lying to them, I whispered fiercely, but telling them now, they'd freak. Your folks too. Jordan's jaw tightened. So we keep hiding forever? This isn't just fun for me, Ethan. I love you. For real. The word hung heavy, and for the first time, it felt like pressure instead of promise. The next day, Dad pulled Jordan aside for man talk, grilling him about his dating life. Jordan deflected, but I saw the strain in his eyes later. Sunday lunch at a downtown diner turned explosive when Sarah texted me mid-meal, asking to meet because I think I know what's going on with you and Jordan. Panic flooded me. I snapped at Jordan under the table, accusing him of being too obvious. He shot back quietly, hurt flashing across his face. I'm not the one pulling away every time someone asks a simple question. My parents noticed the vibe, Mom asking if everything was okay between us. The drive to the airport was silent torture. As her car disappeared into traffic, Jordan turned to me on the curb. If this is too much, say it now. I won't force you to choose between them and me. His voice cracked, mirroring the confession that started it all. I wanted to reach for him, but fear held me back, the misunderstanding widening into a gulf that left us both aching. Work became a battlefield of its own when rumors started swirling at the firm. A jealous colleague, Mike from accounting, had overheard a late-night call where Jordan and I talked too freely about plans. By Monday, whispers followed me in the break room. Ethan's roommate seems a little too friendly, huh? It escalated when Mike cornered me by the copier. Saw you two at that cafe last week. Real cozy. Anything you want to share with HR? His smirk made my blood run cold. I denied everything, but the damage spread, subtle sidelong glances, projects reassigned without explanation. My promotion talk got postponed indefinitely. I came home that night furious and terrified, slamming the door. Jordan was cooking stir-fry, but one look at my face, and he set the pan aside. What happened? I unloaded everything. The rumors, the fear of losing my job in a city where rent didn't wait. This is what I was afraid of, I said, pacing. One confession, and everything unravels. Maybe we should cool it until things die down. Jordan's face paled, but he didn't yell. Instead, pain etched deep lines around his eyes. Cool it? Ethan, I've been patient. I've given you space, time, everything. But pushing me away now? That's not love. That's fear winning. He grabbed his keys and left for a walk, the apartment echoing empty. The next days were hell. I buried myself in deadlines, avoiding his texts, replaying every choice since that back rub. Family pressure mounted too. Mom called asking why I sounded off lately, hinting at setting me up with a neighbor's daughter. Guilt twisted with betrayal when Sarah finally confronted me over coffee. I saw you kissing him through the window last month. Why didn't you trust me? Her hurt mirrored Jordan's, and I realized my silence had wounded everyone. Jordan returned late one night, bags under his eyes. I can't keep pretending this doesn't hurt me too. If you need out, say it. His sacrifice, offering to move out to spare me the fallout, broke something in me. I watched him pack a small bag, the man who'd started it all now, walking away because I couldn't face the consequences. The apartment felt like a tomb, without Jordan's laughter filling it. 3 days of silence, stretched into an eternity until I couldn't stand it anymore. I drove to his sister's place in the suburbs where he'd crashed, pounding on the door at midnight. When he opened it, surprise and guarded hope warred on his face. "Ethan," I stepped inside, words tumbling out. I was wrong. Scared, yeah, but wrong. That back rub started this, but you're the one who showed me who I really am. Not hiding anymore. Not from you. Not from anyone who matters. Tears stung my eyes as I grabbed his hands. I love you too, and if it costs me the job or family approval right now, it's worth it for this. Jordan pulled me into his arms, the embrace fierce and forgiving. We talked through the night, about coming out slowly, starting with Sarah, maybe testing the waters with his family next. The next week, I sat down with my boss, owning the truth without apology. No firing came. Instead, a quiet understanding and the promotion back on track. My parents' next call was harder. I didn't lie this time, just said I was seeing someone special and we'd visit soon. Their stunned silence hurt, but Jordan's hand in mine made it bearable. We took that trip up north after all, walking hand in hand along the shore, no more secrets between us. Months later, standing on our balcony watching the Chicago skyline sparkle, I realized the growth wasn't just mine. Jordan had found strength in vulnerability, and I'd learned that love wasn't about fitting molds, but building something real despite them. Our journey, from that shocking confession to this steady partnership, proved we could face the world together. True or false? A single unexpected touch between two men can force you to rewrite your entire story and discover the courage you never knew you had.